So welcome back to my new video, friends. I am Harsh and you are watching Pro Wrestling Predictor. So now in this video you will see my preview and predictions for this week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. WWE is advertising this week's episode of SmackDown as Super Smackdown because this SmackDown will happen on Madison Square Garden. WWE has already announced some big things for this show. WWE has officially announced that Seth Rollins will take on the rated R superstar Edge in a SummerSlam rematch. Last week we saw Seth Rollins try to be Edge and attack Cesaro brutally, and after the match Edge came to save Cesaro and then he challenged Rollins to a match. If WWE wants to continue their feud until Extreme Rules, so I think Seth will win this one, or if they want to wrap this feud after this match, so I think Edge will be victorious. From last 2 weeks we are seeing Sonya Deville is ignoring Naomi. Naomi is asking for a match from last 2 weeks. So I think on this week's episode of SmackDown she will get a match, and I think Toni Storm will be a good opponent for her. Last week we saw a championship contenders match between the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos and the Street Profits. But that match ended in a disqualification, so I think we might see this match again. And this time Street Profits can win this one to earn a tag team title match at Extreme Rules, or we can see a singles match between one member of the Usos and one member of the Street Profits. Last week we saw a segment between Kevin Owens, Happy Corbin and Logan Paul, and at the end of the segment Happy Corbin attacked Kevin Owens with a chokeslam. So I think on this week's episode of SmackDown Kevin Owens will get his revenge, and I think he will give stunners to both Logan Paul and Happy Corbin. WWE has officially announced that the SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair will sign their contract for their match at Extreme Rules on this week's episode of SmackDown. I think this contract signing will not end well. I think we will see a brawl after the contract signing. I think this time Bianca Belair will stand tall. There are some conflicting reports about the return of The Undertaker on this week's episode of SmackDown. First, some reports said that he will be there, but now some reports are saying that he might be featured in a taped promo. So we will see what will happen with him. In the main event of last week's SmackDown, we saw Roman Reigns defeated Finn Balor in a Universal title match, but when Roman Reigns was leaving the ring, we saw a tease of the Demon Finn Balor. So I think on this week's episode of SmackDown, we might see the Demon returning and confronting the Universal Champion. And the biggest thing WWE's advertised for this week's episode of SmackDown is the return of the Beast Brock Lesnar. We saw him at SummerSlam, he confronted Roman Reigns, and so I think this time we might expect Demon Balor, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar to be in the same ring, and I think this might lead to a brawl. So that was it. These are my preview and predictions for this week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you all in my next video. Until then, goodbye.